Hi, I'm Ryan Culver, and this is Destination Unknown. Today I'm here at Hawthorne Airport in Southern California with Jason Owen from the Collins Foundation. Now, these guys and gals are responsible for being part of a nonprofit organization that educates on, restores, and demonstrates a lot of the vehicles and a lot of the transportation that has helped to build America and protect our freedoms. Today, they've invited me along to be part of an educational demonstration of this beautifully restored B-24 Liberator. So tell me a little bit about this bird.
Well, this B-24 was built in 1944. It did see action. This was part of the Lend-Lease program. This became an airplane with the Royal Air Force, and went to the Pacific. So they built over 18,000 of these, about 6,000 more than the B-17. It flew more missions, dropped more bombs, and trained a lot more crews. So it had a very definite impact on the war.
Okay. Now, as a pilot, I'm always curious, flying usually many newer planes than what you're flying now. Tell me what it's like to fly this thing. Obviously there's no fly-by-wire control.
No, there's not a lot that's given to you. In fact, what amazes me about the airplane is the pilots that flew it. They became very good pilots, in my opinion, because the airplane didn't give them much. You've got to fly the airplane all the time. It's kind of like walking your dog. He's got a mind of his own, and sometimes he just changes his mind. He's going a different direction. You've got to pull it back. And this airplane here, wherever it's pointed, is not where it wants to go.
Tell me a little bit about the power plants that operate this aircraft. There's 4 engines.
4 engines. They're a Pratt & Whitney, 1,830 cubic inches. They put out 1,200 horsepower. It's a 1930s design, and still running today, so obviously it was a very good engine.
Okay. Now, are these power plants used on any other aircraft?
Quite a few airplanes. DC-3 that everybody knows, the C-47.
Sure.
There's a lot of airplanes that did use this, the Catalina, the PBY.
Right.
So they built lots and lots of these engines and use them on a lot of airplanes.
Okay. Now, you said that there were roughly 18,000 of these built during that lifetime, and how many are still flying?
This one.
This is it?
This is it.
What does it cost to operate this thing? I mean, what is the hourly cost to maintain it, to fuel it, fly it?
That's actually kind of a complicated question because there's a lot that goes into it. It's like, you know, bean counters, they can kind of make it any way they want, but when you get right down to the cost of the tires, the brakes, the engines, the propellers, all the accessories, all the incidental parts that are in the airplane, from the radios to you know, the seats. There's a lot of things in the airplane to work on and maintain. They estimate that cost at about $4,000 an hour.
A flight hour. $4,000. Yeah. $4,000 a flight hour.
Yeah, over 1,000 of it at today's price is just in fuel.
Just in fuel, I imagine. So tell me a little bit about the characteristics of the plane in terms of the crew. How many crew during its active service? How many crew served on board, and what were the functions?
Well, they had 10 crewmen. You had the 2 pilots. You had a navigator, a bombardier, ball gunner, nose gunner, and a tail gunner, and then the engineer and the radio operator also filled in as the waist gunners.
Did they lose a lot of these planes during the war?
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely. They lost, out of the 18,000, over 18,000 that were built, 5,400 of them were shot down due to fighters, flak, running into each other, just operational type, you know, incidents where they lost the airplane. 5,400. There really wasn't a mission for this airplane after the war. The B-17 was actually used in airline service. They used it for passengers, and then is used as a freighter. They used it as firebombing clear up into the mid-80s. So it had a mission. This airplane, there really wasn't anything for it after the war. So by 1949, they were pretty well all cut up.
Have you ever thought about putting a skydive rig on and being dropped out of the bomb bay doors in flight?
I have.
Have you?
Yes.
Have you ever done it?
Yes.
Have you done it?
Twice.
No way. All right, I think that's my ultimate right there. I gotta try that.
Yeah, I've got 2 more takeoffs than I do landings now.
Wow. So there's actually a little bit of room in here. I mean, I imagine on a long mission it probably takes its toll, but you can actually get around okay, huh?
Yeah, when you put 10 guys in here, it's kind of a crowd, but they all have their stations, so the waist gunners would be right here, the tail turret. Tail gunner would be back here.
Okay. So and then, let's see, this is breathing oxygen. Okay, so these guys were flying at higher altitudes.
Yeah, about 12,000 feet. They all had oxygen on.
Right. Okay. So we're in the process of lowering this ball turret right now. Jason's helping me out, showing me how this process works.
Okay, go ahead and lower it now.
Okay. It really works its way down there, doesn't it?
And now it's in position. You'd rotate the gun this way and extend, and it opens the door, or exposes the door inside the airplane. So the guns are pointed straight down. The ball gunner would get in, close the door, and then he'd rotate it, and then he's free to turn.
And he operates the thing
Inside.
completely by himself. He turns it, he fires
he's got
it.
2 joysticks, and each one fires each gun independently. And to bring him back up,
Crank him back up. Now, how much time at one time would a typical gunner spend in that turret?
he could be in there, 8 hours.
All right. Okay. So now we haven't quite reached the cockpit yet. Now, what is this area right here?
This is the radio compartment. This is where the radio man sat. He had both the HF and low frequency radios. Got a trailing antenna on the bottom. They would extend out, and the length of the antenna dictates the frequency that they're looking for. They had the radio operator. They had an engineer, and then top turret, which is above your head here.
Okay. And then I see right here where I'm standing, but there's actually a deck here below where the flight deck is, and there's a whole crawl space down under here where the rest of these guys, the navigator and the
navigator, the bombardier, and the nose gunner.
And the nose gunner. All 3 of them had to fit up into this little small space underneath, basically where the pilots were sitting. man, my voice is a little bit hoarse from screaming so much. I was so excited to be up there. Jason, I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to fly, not just ride in this thing, but actually get up in the seat with you and fly this. And you're right. We talked a little bit before we took off, and you said, you know, I'm going to tell you about the experience of flying this thing and compare it to flying a bathtub half full of water. And I got to tell you, you're right. I mean, the thing is, it's a beast of burden, but what a joy to be up there flying the thing, and it's really an experience that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. It was really an awesome thing. I can't believe you get to do this thing, fly this thing on a daily basis. It's just an awesome experience.
Yeah, it is a great experience, and I feel very privileged to even be involved.
Yeah.
So I thank the Collins Foundation for preserving the airplane and promoting the history.